please tell me about yourself.
Yeah. So hi, this is Ganapati. Totally, I have 5+ years of experience as a Java backend developer. Coming to the technology development, Java, Spring Boot, and microservices. Coming to the database development, faculty and MySQL DB. API testing tools wise, I have used Postman and also JMeter. This JMeter I have used for load testing kind of thing. Deployment tools wise, I have used CI/CD pipeline, particularly Jenkins, along with the GitHub as like version control tool. And ORM as I have experience with Hibernate and Spring Data JPA.
Okay. So, which Java version right now using?
Currently, I'm working with Java 17.
17.
Hmm.
So, what is difference between Java 8 and 17?
So in the Java 17 wise, they have introduced the features called this seeded classes. Means we can able to control which class to be extended and which class to be implemented.
Mm-hmm.
And on the interface level also we can able to implement. And one more thing, pattern matching for the slip statement means we can enables the cleaner and safer and switches expressions with the pattern matching one thing. And
Mm-hmm.
apart from that, I can say like a record classes means we can able to consider the way of a model immutable data classes one thing. But Java 8 features I can say like a functional interfaces, Lambda expressions, and we have Streams API in this particularly intermediate and terminal operations. And apart from that option class which will avoid the null pointer exception.
So, what is difference between normal interface and function interface?
Okay, difference between a normal interface and functional interface that you are asking.
Yes.
Basically, functional interface is nothing but the interface which will holds the one abstract method and any number of default and static methods will be there. So this can be used with the lambda expressions or the method references. So it will be marked with function at the functional interface annotation. But normal interface have like a multiple abstract methods will be there. Cannot be directly used with the lambda expressions. And general purpose I can say like not functional statements.
So, what is use of static and default method?
Yeah, basically static and default methods will be like so static methods will be used of helper and utility classes, but default method will be like provides the method body inside the interface, allow the interfaces to evolve without varying the implementations. And particularly, I can say like backward compatibility means we can able to add new methods to the interfaces without forcing the, all the implementations.
Okay, okay, just 1 minute. Okay, so you know lambda expression.
Yeah, I know.
So, what is importance of lambda expression?
The main functional for this lambda expression will be like provides the functional way of programming language first of all. Means particularly I can say like suppose they have like an anomalous function without name that can be passed around like an object.
So, how many types of functional interface, predefined functional interface, can you give the name of?
Yeah, we have predicate, function, consumer, supplier, by function. These are the predefined functional interfaces.
Okay, okay. So, optional class, so why we are using optional class in Java 8? What is importance of that?
So basically, optional class will be like provides the way to handle the null pointer exception. Means
Null.
may or may not contain the non-null value, but it is used to represent the idea of the no value or a missing value in more expressive way than using of null.
Okay. So, can you give the name of methods?
In this, we have like methods called empty method will be there, optional of method will be there, option dot is present method will be there, and get method will be there, and one more thing, the default value is not present or else method will be there, if present method will be there.
Okay. So, method reference, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. So, method reference, how will work?
So basically, method preparation reference will be like a shortened notation of the lambda expression to call a method directly. Means how it will be like a, it will pass the method as like a arguments, especially when the lambda just calls the existing method.
Okay.
like the static method, instance method of the object, instead method of the class, and the constructor methods.
So what is Stream API?
So stream API, I can say like this is like a process of collection. Means we can able to process the collections in a functional style using a pipeline operations. Means a sequence of elements supports the sequential or parallel operations like intermediate operations. So intermediate operations return the new stream, but terminal operations produce the result like that.
Okay. So what is difference between Stream API and parallel Stream API?
Okay, parallel stream API. So basically, parallel stream API will be like it uses the multiple CPU cores to run the task. Means we can able to run the multiple threads, making faster for large data sets by utilizing the multiple cores of the CPA.
Okay.
So they have like a we need to convert the existing stream. Then we need to go for like a list of a parallel stream like that.
Okay. And what is difference between map and hash map? No, 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 no,
Uh,
no, 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 no. Just I'm correcting it. What is difference between hash map and concurrent hash map?
Yeah, so hash map is like a not thread safe, and but concurrent hash map is like a thread safe. And in terms of hash map, faster than single threaded environments and allows the null keys values and one null key actually. In concurrent hash map thread safe, multiple threads can read and write concurrently without logging the entire map. Internally uses the segment logging, that is bucket level logging. Does not allow the null keys or null values without the null pointer exception.
Okay, okay, okay. So suppose I will tell you we want to read operation and write operation. So I give two scenario. One is linked hash map, another one is hash map. So how to distinguish between these two map classes, and what will put impact on the read and write operation? Suppose something you want to write in database, something you want to read from the database. So which scenario, which one will you use for implementing it?
Okay. So in terms of the scenarios, I can say like when I go for like read and write operations, we need to go for like either linked hash map or hash map in the context of read and write heavy operations. Hash map is like a no order maintained. Insertion order is not preserved. But fast read and write operations, constant time is like a walk one for most cases. Like good for a performance focused access. But linked hash map is like a maintains the insertion order or access order can be configured basically.
Okay. Okay. You know dynamic binding and static binding?
Okay, dynamic binding and static binding, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So basically, dynamic binding and static binding will be refers of two things. One is like a compile time polymorphism and like a runtime polymorphism. So compile time polymorphism like a static binding, runtime polymorphism is like a dynamic binding. So static binding will be like early binding, means happens at compile time, applies to the static methods, final methods, and overloaded and private methods based on the reference type, not by the object type actually.
Okay.
But the dynamic binding will be like a happens at runtime and applies the only overridden methods, that is like a non-static and non-final.
So suppose I want to override static void main method, overload static void main method. So it can be overload.
You can static main overload, right? You're asking.
Yeah, static public static void main method. Main, as a string array argument.
So basically, static methods can be overloaded in Java, definitely. That is a compile type polymorphism. It is allowed for static methods, but static methods cannot be overridden.
Okay, okay, okay. So you know about eager loading and lazy loading. concept in
Yes, I
Java? No.
So first of all, eager loading and lazy loading, I can say like two things. One is like eager loading can be refers for the fetching, means it
Hmm.
loads relatedly entities immediately when the parent is fetched. But
No,
lazy
no,
loading
no,
will
no,
be
no.
like
Eager loading, just like as a initiation of the object, is a part of lazy
yes,
loading.
everything is
And
loaded once
eager
actually.
loading,
Otherwise,
if
the
you
lazy
have
loading will
without class level method and variables you define, that would be as a eager loading. Hmm. So you know the meta space in Java 8 and 17, how it is work?
So basically, meta space will be like replaced with permgen. It is automatically grow based on the needs actually.
Hmm.
And coming to the permgen is like a fixed size.
Hmm.
This will be causing a auto memory error, so
Hmm.
that can be avoided by using of meta space actually.
Okay. So I'm just moving to next part of the Java. I'm just going to Spring Boot. You know the async APIs, how to make it async
Yes,
APIs?
yes, I know.
Hmm. Yeah, please tell. No idea?
Yes, I know. I know.
Please tell.
Yeah. So basically, Stream API will be like, as I said earlier, we will use the intermediate temporal operations. So it
Mm-hmm.
will allow us to process the collections like in a declarative and functional style. So we
Mm-hmm.
need to build a pipeline of operations like a map, filter, sort, like collect like that to transform or compute the data.
Mm-hmm.
Then we need to apply the terminal operations to count, like for each method, collect method, count method like that.
Collect method, call method.
No, no, collect for each, count, reduce.
No, no, I'm asking about async API. Async, API is two types, sync API, async API.
Asynchronous API, right? You're asking.
Asynchronous.
Acha, okay. So basically, async API, I can say like we can able to like work with asynchronous. Like we can able to task the run in the background without blocking the main thread, and
Mm-hmm.
this will improves the response and throughput in the like microservice applications. For that, we need to use a completable feature like
Thread pool, task
yes,
executor.
yes.
So, which one class you are using for suppose if you are writing the asynchronous API?
I have worked with executor framework and completable feature.
Okay, okay, compatible, compatible filter, callable interface, right?
Runnable and callable.
So suppose I will tell you, you you need to write a complete scratch application in Spring Boot. So how do you write? What do you think first step and last step for ready to run and test?
Okay, in terms of writing any scratch or like project,
Yeah,
we have
scratch. Yes, yes. So what do you take the necessary step?
so first of all, if it is like if we want to create a REST endpoint, we need to go for like implement of the like RESTful architecture by creating the control classes. Then we have like a service layer. Service layer will be handling the business logic actually. And apart from that, I can say like a model will be like using of mapping, creating the tables, and in order to really like create the database connection on like Java objects, the Pojo layer, we need to go for like implement of the repository actually.
Okay. So
So backend,
how do you what is difference between at the red bean and at the red component? What think about that?
so basically bean and this one I can say like a component. Bean is like a particularly for creating the bean objects.
Hmm.
But the component is like we have like so many layers. We like service is like a component. This is like a services like a business object like that. But bean is like used on the method to define the Spring managed bean manually. typically placed inside the configuration class actually. But the component is used on the class tells to the Spring automatically detect and register as like a bean during the component scanning. Means Spring will scan the and include this class if it is like component scan.
Okay. So, you know, service annotation and repository annotation, right? So, what is difference between these two
Basically, service will be like a user for defining of a business logic, but repository will be like a user to interact with the data, particularly I can say like a, it is like a specialized version of the component. Both are like a,
things?
but purpose will be different actually. The
So
purpose I can say
suppose
like,
you want to use two dependency injections in controller class, okay? For example, I don't want to use auto wiring something. So what is alternative way to initialize to the dependency in controller? So what way you initialize
basically
without
two ways.
auto wiring?
Understood, understood. So apart from this auto wire, we need to go for like implement of constructor injection. So Spring will automatically handles without need of auto wire. So the it and apart from that, sector injection will be there.
Hmm. Okay, okay, great. So you know microservices.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, so what is gateway API? How to manage the multiple API in single endpoint? Can you elaborate about that?
Basically, API gateway will be like offers of so many things like authentication and authorization, and
Mm-hmm.
apart from the rate limiting, and one more thing, load balancing. First of all, what is API gateway means like it is like a centralized routing to multiple requests.
Mm-hmm.
Caching can be offered in terms of security wise. It will do the authentication and authorization, and API versioning will become offered by API gateway. So we can use the either Spring Cloud API gateway or Jupyter.
So cloud, suppose if you are using Spring Cloud API dependencies, cloud dependencies, so how do you centralize it? You have any mechanism?
Yeah, we need to go for like a first of all this one config server will be there, and
Mm-hmm.
so we need to go for like centralized dependencies. Then we need to go for like implement of parent actually.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Spring Boot and dependency manage, we need to implement that one.
Okay. You know discovery registry.
Service discovery, I know service registry. I
Mm.
know. Service
How
discovery will be like we
how
can
it is
able
work?
to so we can able to dynamically locate the services based on the available services in the this one service registry. So
Mm-hmm.
service registry will be like you to register the services into themselves.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, Basically, this gateway API, if you are using, so here need to be uh, cloud dependencies, Spring Boot cloud dependencies, and here need to be a Eureka server. So you register the all services by using to discovery registry, right? You know. So one service, all service are registered with the Eureka server, so you can make it the single endpoint and you send the multiple requests and handle the all API. So here need to be write one more API, Spring Gateway API. Here you can route locator class, you can utilize it, and whatever you service you have registered, all information you put there, and then you can make it. So for intercommunication of each and other APIs, so what kind of things approach you follow in Spring Boot? Suppose you are using API gateway, okay, intercommunication. So,
First of all,
uh,
here I can say like all services are registered centrally. That is service registry. A central API can route the request to the those services. And inter-service communication is like a API to API calls. Means all the
API to
services.
API call. Suppose I have one API. Okay. Not I am telling one API. Just you have make it as a gateway API, and everything means you have single endpoint. But that API you want to call in different application. So how do you call? What mechanism you will write here?
So basically, service discovery plus routing
No,
actually.
no, no. You know the REST template, web client.
The REST template will be like a calling of third-party API service calls.
So third party, I'm just asking. Web client, you know?
Yes, yes, I know.
Okay.
Basically, dynamic routing via gateway controller plus web client.
Okay. So that is, what is the advantage if you are using Spring Boot? This is the last question from the Spring Boot. Because of we
Basically,
have
Spring Boot advanced.
alternative is a Spring framework MVC. So before Spring Boot, all people are using Spring MVC framework, right?
Mm.
So what is the advantage in Spring Boot rather than Spring MVC
Basically,
framework?
Spring Boot features wise, they will give the auto configuration feature, and apart from that, we have like a embedded servers will be there. In terms of embedded server, we have Tomcat and Jetty will be there, and apart from that, conventional configuration, so we can eliminate the need of like going for XML configuration actually. And apart from that, starter dependencies one thing, like we can able to opt for the starter packages. And one more thing, actuator means it will give the toolkits like a metrics, environment details via a Spring Boot actuator, and initializer. This is like web tool to bootstrap our Spring Boot application project people.
Okay. Okay. So just right now I'm moving. You know the JPA and other things.
Yeah,
JPA, Java Persistent API.
yeah, yeah, no.
So what is the role of JPA repository? You know the JPA repository.
Yeah.
How it works?
JPA repository will be like a
So no,
provides
just I make it the clear concept about that. Uh, if I will ask you what is difference between CRUD repository and JPO repository. So how do you explain it?
okay, CRUD repository and JPA repository
Yes,
differences.
yes.
Yeah. So basically, the main difference I can say like CRUD repository offers the only basic operations, but JPA repository offers the like caching also will be offered. And CRUD will be
Caching,
like
you know, second level cache.
yes, we can need to manually enable in by using of either Infinity Span or EH cache in the hibernate.cfg.xml file.
Hibernate.
Hibernate.cfg.xml file. We need to enable this one particularly.
Second level cache.
Yes,
No, I think as of now, no one using the Hibernate say config.xml file. All are
yes.
using JPA. So if suppose if you are using JPA, so how do you manage the second level caching?
Okay, JPA second
You
level
know
cache.
Hazelcast something like that. Hazelcast, you know.
That second level cache in the JPA, we need to go for like implement of
So you
OPI.
can use to Hazelcast. Hazelcast just as a XML. So here you can define uh, as per input parameter accordingly. They will manage it. Because of Hazelcast, what will do that? It will manage the data from the cache, manage into the cache from the database. So each and every request cannot go hit to the your database and directly it will take first take from the cache. If not available, then go move to DB.
Okay.
So this is the advantage.
Hmm.
So in database, which database you are using right now?
Oracle and MySQL.
Oracle and MySQL.
Yeah.
So what is the importance role of the procedure and function? Suppose I tell you how do you when you needed to write the procedure or function, what scenario you will have, then you recommend to the team you can use to procedure rather than the existing
Yeah. First of all, function and procedures are like a predefined set of features.
Mm-hmm.
So Store process is like a pre-compiled SQL
Mm,
code stored in the DB,
mm,
and it can perform the insert, update, or copy, and
mm,
can be called from the JVM
mm,
actually.
mm,
But the function is like a return a value, unlike a procedure.
mm,
So can be used with the select or a callable queries.
mm, mm. Okay. Okay. Any other importance?
So,
Multiple operation if you want to perform, so you can go with the procedure because of query label. It is not a possible. A
yes, yes.
query will be a lengthy and it will take so much time to execution because of first need to be compiled and thereafter it will execute. It will take lot of time. So performance optimization is a one more thing if you go with this.
Yeah, yeah.
Function, function. When will you use to function?
So basically, function will be like a logic is a DB specific faster than DB layer. Then
Mm,
we need to reduce the Java side processing rate. For
mm,
that, we will go for like a function actually.
okay. So functional is also because of if you are writing the complex query,
Yes, yes.
multiple joins, okay. So it will also impact to the our query performance in Java level. So
Yeah.
you can define a function and procedure both are the pre-compiled statement. Okay, if you are writing function, if something have missing, so it will not compile because you give the error during the writing. Okay, so that are the pre-compiled statements. One call will hit to the particular function. It will prompt give the response of the data. So this is the optimization cases. So how many types of joins?
Joins wise, we have this one inner join, outer join. In the outer join, we have left outer join, right outer join will be there,
Mhm,
self join will be there.
mhm. Union all.
Yeah.
So when will you use left join and right join? Which scenario?
Basically, left join, I can say like if I want to go for like a match the records from like all the records from the left table and match
Mhm.
records from the right table, I will go for that one.
Okay.
And particularly, I can say like if we have any employee and department tables we have
Okay.
like users table.
Okay. Angular JS something like that.
No, no,
I
only
think
Java.
you have for the backend only, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So just 1 minute. So Kubernetes, you have mentioned Docker Kubernetes, right?
Yes, yes.
So you have knowledge about the cloud server, right?
Mm. Yes.
So suppose you want to build as a CI/CD pipeline. So what step you will take to make it CI/CD pipeline?
First of all, we need to pipeline. We need to create the pipeline build actually. The build will be consist of the Groovy script. Groovy script will be like stages will be there like checkout stage, build stage, and then after that we have like a do the plus stage will be there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. This is so Kubernetes and Docker.
Mhm.
So what is relation between the Kubernetes and Docker?
Okay, Docker and Kubernetes relationship, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. First of all, Docker will be used to create the containerized image.
Mm-hmm.
Means particularly I can say like it builds and runs the containers on like on the top of our apps. But Kubernetes like orchestrates and manages those containers in production.
Okay, okay, okay. Means that is umbrella of the all containers, right?
Yes, yes. We can create the image in our application.
Mm-hmm.
So that we can push to the container registry, either Docker Hub or any ECR. So
Mm-hmm.
Kubernetes pulls that image and runs in pod.
Okay. So you are using Git and Jira, right? So
Yes.
agile methodology.
Yeah, I know.
So how do you work in agile manner? Suppose your team have uh,
So basically
what is,
agile will
yeah, 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 please go ahead, go ahead.
So basically, agile will be like a individual. Means regular team hurdles will be there,
Mm,
and we have like a any tool like
mm,
Jira tool or any Rally software will be there. We have
mm,
regular stand-up calls will be there, and we
mm,
have a backlog clean will be there, and we need to prioritize and the nothing clusters to on our mind more than the choice actually.
mm.
And we have retrospectives not just for issues but appreciating teammates also will be there.
Okay. Okay. You know Lambda function in AWS. You
Yeah,
know about the Lambda.
yeah, yeah.
So what is role of that? Why we are using Lambda function?
AWS Lambda or normal Lambda.
AWS Lambda.
So AWS Lambda is like a serverless function. We can able to let's run our code without provisioning or managing the services.
Hmm.
So just we need to write the function and we need to upload it. That the AWS will handle the scaling, execution, and resource management actually.
Okay. Okay. Uh, Raju, so I have completed. Nice to talking with you.